Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind. That is your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Today guys, we're going to be going over the latest episode of Snowfall, season 5, episode number 7, called Lying in a Hammock. The episode starts off with the Saints meeting about what they're going to do about Kane and Peaches. It's clear that nobody knows where Peaches is, and Franklin tells Jerome and Louie that he doesn't think Kane knew anything about what Peaches did. So Jerome and Louie want to know how they're going to get at Kane, and Leon tells them that they're going to hold off on that for now because he wants to have a little talk with him to see if he can make things right with his family. And if Kane doesn't accept it, Leon's crew will take him out themselves. So Louie looks at Franklin and she says, "You awfully quiet for a change." So Franklin let it be known that him and Leon already spoke about this on the ride over. And he understands the severity of the situation, that his unborn child was shot at, his mom and his family. He tells them that if it were anybody else, that person would be done for, along with his whole family. But this is Kane, which makes it a delicate situation. As Leon pointed out earlier, they killed his brother and didn't take care of his family, so they got to make it right. Plus, Kane is an OG, so if they go at him, it's going to be a war. But Uncle Jerome is not trying to hear this. He tells them that he's going to go find Peaches, then he'll deal with Kane. I swear, guys, Louie and Jerome, they never see eye to eye with Franklin, especially Louie, okay? But at the same time, I do see where Uncle Jerome is frustrated because he's like, folks out here trying to kill us and y'all want to make deals, you know? But I also see where Franklin and Leon are coming from. Kane ain't doing nothing but his due diligence as an OG, okay? They killed his brother, so of course he's going to come at them. And this is something that Franklin and Leon understands as well, okay? And you would think that Uncle Jerome would understand this too because he was on the same revenge wave when Louis got shot. Next, Franklin goes to the office and Veronique is on the phone about the property. And I find it strange that every time Franklin walks through the door, she's on the phone with the same people talking about the daggone property. Anyway, she tells Franklin that if they miss this deadline, they're going to reopen the bid without them. Then she starts making faces like she's in pain, and when Franklin asks what's wrong, she tells him that she has cramps and that she already spoke to the doctor who told her that she's in the delicate stages of pregnancy, and after 12 weeks, there's less chance of a miscarriage. So Franklin was like, "Miscarriage? Oh, heck no," and he leads her over to have a seat. So as they're talking, his pager keeps going off and she wants to know who it is. And Franklin says it's Teddy. Because Teddy got picked up earlier by Oso. And I was honestly surprised that Parissa let him go. But anyway, guys, Veronique was like, "Oh, the CIA Teddy who will kill you if the gangsters don't?" And Franklin was like, "Okay, now you sound like my mom." So at this point, he's wondering if Sissy and Veronique have been talking for real, you know? She already knew that Sissy was out having coffee with the friends. And when Franklin asked what friend, Veronique changed the subject and was like, "I'll just call the banks, right?" But I was over here wondering how the heck Veronique knew Sissy's whereabouts. Anyway, the mystery continues, doesn't it? So next, Franklin goes to meet with Oso and Teddy for the drop, and Teddy is pissed because he's trying to figure out how they got hit. And when Franklin tells him that it was Peaches, Teddy tells Franklin that this is sloppy as heck, okay? Then he didn't appreciate Franklin bringing a new security guy to the drop, so he tells Franklin that from now on he's calling all the shots, you know, where they will be meeting for the drops and that he wants him to come alone. He also tells Franklin that he's getting way too high profile for his taste with the real estate company. He tells Franklin that he could buy up the whole ghetto if he wants to, but no more high profile buys. And Teddy was not just saying this to him, guys. He was yelling at Franklin like he was his father, boss, massa. I don't know, you pick one. You know what I'm saying? But Franklin kept his cool and he was like, uh-huh. And he walked back to the car like MFA, you know. But anyway, so next, Uncle Jerome goes to the Veterans Clinic looking for Peaches. He bribes the receptionist to give him some extra information like an address or telephone number. But when she takes the money, she only tells Jerome that Peaches was there to see a doctor down the hall last week, right? And I was like, what the heck is that going to do? Anyway, so Jerome goes to talk to the doctor, and the doc was hardly any help either. He was like, "I can't help you," you know. But He does take a look at Jerome's hand and he lets him know that he broke a few bones, okay? He also tells Jerome that he should seek counseling because he can tell that he's been through some things. Then Jerome goes out into the hall and a dude named Oakley comes up behind him and he was like, "Hey, Jerome, remember me? We met a couple years ago with Peaches." Anyway, long story short, he tells Jerome that he was just with Peaches last week and he has a pretty good idea where he is and that he can take Jerome to him. Just give me 30 minutes. Next, Leon meets up with Kane and he explains everything that happened with Kevin. He let him know that with Kevin trying to go after a Mexican OG, it could have started a war that would have wiped them all out, even got Kane killed while he was locked up. Leon explains that even after all of that, they didn't mean to kill Kevin and they were just trying to stop him and it all went wrong. And Kane was like, "Yeah, way wrong." And Leon was like, "I know, and we messed up and I own up to it." And this is why I love Leon, guys, okay? Because he ain't about pointing fingers. He just takes it for the team. He knows doggone well that Franklin killed Kev, but he keeps saying we instead of putting it all on Franklin. But anyway, Leon tells Kane that he messed up too. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been better if he would have just came and talked to him and Franklin. But since he came at the whole family, now they out for blood. And Kane kind of laughed it off like, "Boy, I ain't never scared." But Leon tells Kane that he could get down with this powder because they got endless supply. He tells Kane that if he wants to squash this beef and truly take care of his family, this is the way. And you could see that Kane was thinking about it with his fine self. Next, Uncle Jerome is sitting in on this veterans group meeting as he waits for Oakley. And he's listening to this one guy's story, and you could tell that it's hitting home for Jerome. He's like really dealing with some anger issues himself. Next, Franklin asked Sissy if she said something to Veronique, and Sissy was like, "Yeah, I told her what you should have told her." So Franklin gets upset and was like, "What are you doing to me?" And Sissy says, "I'm trying to help you." So Franklin was like, "If you want to help me, do it by keeping the peace instead of making everything worse." So Sissy gets up and leaves after that because she was clearly looking at Franklin like he done lost his daggone mind. Next, Louie meets up with Buckley to give him a name and address of a dude who's been out of prison for a few months. And of course, it's safe to assume that she's referring to Kane. Now, she tells Buckley that she wants him to kill Kane, and of course, she'll pay. And you see, this is what happens when folks in a crew don't see eye to eye. Franklin already told Louie and Jerome that they're going to hold off on getting at Kane to see if they could work something out with him. But we got Louie doing her own thing, making moves that could potentially cost the whole crew big time, okay? Like Leon said, if Kane gets touched, it'll start a war. But on another note, I was glad to see that Louie finally bossed up on Buckley, okay? She let him know that she had the upper hand in this situation and that he was not her only option, even though he probably is. And I was like, about time, girl, but you sure picked the wrong time to show him. Next, Teddy tells Oso that he needs his help wiring Franklin's car. Oso doesn't say anything, so Teddy goes on to tell him that he's sorry that he took off on him during the shootout, but he's glad that Oso is okay. And Oso just keeps quiet and walks away. And of course, he's taking it all in. And I'm sure he remembers when Franklin told him that Teddy had surveillance on them at one of the drop locations. Franklin thought Oso had something to do with it as well, but Oso didn't know anything about it. So I believe that Oso is taking all of this in right now. And at this point, I'm just hoping that he alerts Franklin to everything that Teddy is planning on doing. Okay, because Teddy don't care about nobody but himself. Next, Franklin and Leon tell Louie that Kane agreed to their terms. And Louie was like, "So you got him making money for you now?" And Franklin said, "Hey, it makes the world go round. So Louie was like, "Do you trust him?" And Leon says, "At the end of the day, Kane just wants to take care of his family." So Louie says, "Okay, you got the targets off our backs, and there's peace in the land, and that's good enough for now." And I was just like, okay, I'm not trusting Louis at this moment, guys, okay? Next, Jerome tells Louis that he found out that Peaches was a junkie. She tells Jerome that she's sorry to hear this, but it all makes sense. She tells Jerome that if she was Peaches and she was a junkie, she would have made an exit plan too after seeing Franklin kill Rob for being a junkie himself, right? They also talked about the deal Franklin and Leon made with Kane, and Louis tells Jerome that she won't move forward with Buckley without his support. So Jerome says, "I already told you I wasn't interested in no deals. You move forward with what you doing and I'll protect you." Then he tells her that he's going to always support her, but he got to step back and do him, you know. He got to do something with his life. He got to get back to Jem and Jerome's and give back to his people. The first thing on his list is making it official with old Luann. So he gets down on one knee and proposes to Louie, and of course she says yes. Next, Teddy meets up with some guy named William, and he's trying to work something out where the guy can transfer these funds into an untraceable account. But the only thing is, whose money is he after? Franklin's? I mean, the way Teddy has been moving in this episode, it seems like every move he is making is against Franklin, you know. When they met at the drop, he was telling Franklin that he needs to pull out of the deal that he's trying to make with the real estate property. And Franklin was like, it's too late to pull out the deal. And if we pull out now, it'll look suspicious. So I think that he might be trying to figure out a way for this deal not to go through. We see that Veronique tells Franklin that everything went well. You know, they spoke to the banks and all looks well and everything like that. So it's looking like stuff is going the way they plan. But I wouldn't be surprised if the money don't come through and the transfers can't happen because Teddy done hired this guy William to stop the payments and transfer all of Franklin's money into a whole different account, an untraceable account. So he's really, really like reaching and doing the most right now, guys. He's really trying to be Franklin's enemy, like for real. Anyway, I cannot stand this man. But anyway, guys, next. Buckley meets up with Louie and tells her that the target ain't even trying to hide and he can have the job done in a couple of weeks because he want to check out his connections and routines. Then Buckley tells Louie that the only thing left is for her to be sure about the job because once she pushes that button, ain't no turning back. So Louie says, do it, looking all evil and stuff. And at the end of the day, guys, I don't even think it's about handling Kane for coming at the family. I feel like it's more of a power move for Louis, you know? Like Franklin said, Queen Louis, you know, because he peeped what she's all about. Okay, so now we get to the last scene where it looks like Uncle Jerome goes back to his old neighborhood, you know, his old house. And another thing about this is that we never see where Jerome and Louis live, only the club. Anyway, that was a pretty odd way to end the episode, but that is how the episode ended, guys. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Let me know what you guys think about what Teddy is up to. Do you think that he's after Franklin's money? Do you think that he's going to put a stop to this whole deal that Veronique has worked so freaking hard for? And maybe we're going to see her flip out. You know what I'm saying? Let me know, guys. Talk to me. Do you think that Buckley is going to be able to kill Kane? If he kills Kane, guys, it's going to be problems. It's going to be trouble, trouble, okay? All right, guys, that's it for the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. I'll see you in the next video. You guys take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.